you to your life. Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to see you. Neil, hello, welcome.
Hey, Joan, good to be here with you. And just wanted to jump on. And, Joan has been interviewing people on our platform for this last month. And today, she's going to be bringing on King Cash. But I just kind of wanted to jump on and just say hi. And thank you, Joan, for doing this and letting everybody know. Joan of Angels and I myself have teamed up on a deep level. She's been telling you about the New Living Expo, telling you about the Mystery School at Sea, but I'm so happy to announce that I have a full-time host, really. And not only that, Joan is helping me produce the New Living Expo. She's interviewing all these people that are coming up at this event, and she's also a really good friend. So today she's going to be interviewing King Cash, who is incredible. You're going to enjoy so much. But I just wanted to come on and just extend my gratitude and just show my face on this channel as well.
Neil, I love seeing your face. I love that introduction. And let's just get started. We have a great guest coming on
Okay,
today.
cool. Yeah, go ahead and
All right.
introduce King Cash. Let's do it.
Today's guest walks between worlds. King Cash is not just a messenger, he is a bridge to the councils, the star nations, ancient lineages that have guided Earth through countless cycles of evolution, carrying codes from the Pleiades, the Arcturians, Assyrians, Lyrans, and the higher angelic orders. You're going to want to hear his story. I'm Dr. Joan Hangarter, also known as Joan of Angels.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait to talk about all the things we're about to talk about today.
I know. I'm excited as well. I'm really curious about your origin story. Like, have you always been like this? And how did this awakening for you happen?
Yes, I was really sensitive to energy when I was younger. And I always to keep it simple, I always said, if everybody else feels good, I feel good. And I felt this duty like I had to take care of everybody. So even when I was in school, I always felt like I had to take care of the teachers and the students. And I always stepped up to be like someone who could take care of everybody, no matter what the age. And I was always able to connect with everybody despite their age. And so I was kind of known as a lot of people just call me king, or like the communicator, because I communicate with everyone no matter what. And then when I got into high school on New Year's, that's when I had my first seizure. And before that, I would have these we call them anxiety attacks. And then it led to seizures where I would seize out and I would pass out, and then I would wake up. And every time I had these, I would be more sensitive to energy. I would see more. And it got to the point where I would start to astral travel a lot without trying. I was really obsessed with astral travel before that. But then when I was able to do it, I realized these upgrades were literally upgrading me. The doctors couldn't figure out what they were, and they still can't to this day. And I remember I was always told that these things usually destroy your brain or like start hurting your brain, but they weren't for me. And if anything, they were actually upping my brain sort of capacity, or sort of like the activity in my brain was getting stronger. And so they put me up to all these machines, couldn't figure out what was happening. But everybody around me would always say these upgrades are making me more mature. And I noticed every time I would have them, I would just feel different. And sometimes I'd wake up and feel like I'm in a whole new universe. And that would happen. I would have these every single month still to this day. And I sort of made peace with them, as they always allow me to see more, do more, feel more. And now I work to help starseeds with my abilities. And I love to travel the astral realm. All the things I said I wanted to do. I always said I wanted to map the universe. I wanted to make friends with ETs. I wanted to do all this stuff. And then now, with the abilities that were given to me, I'm able to do that. And I have so much fun in helping people interact with the spirit realm and help people learn from these beings, in which soon are going to be here physically.
So what gifts have you been given?
And I should say I am able to communicate with all these different types of beings. I remember the first time I was communicating with spirit guides, I thought it was kind of creepy at first, because when it first happened, it was in high school. And I would go to like parties and I would just like feel that someone needs help, and then I would like follow the energy, and someone would be like going through a struggle, and I would know exactly how to help them, and these beings would like be standing behind them and telling me what is happening, and the people would be creeped out. They're like, how do you know this? In the beginning I was like, I don't know, I just know that I know. And it got to the point where I started realizing about these guides, so that's when I started awakening. I'm like, whoa, this stuff with spirit guides and extraterrestrials and all that stuff, it is very real. And so I started astral traveling and going to these different places. These beings would bring me to different places. They would even send me on missions in the astral and the physical. The ones in the physical, they'd be like, we need you to go over to the mall, and there's going to be a girl that sees spirits and she needs help. At the beginning, I was like, okay, I know y'all are saying this, but let's see if this is real. And I would go there, and it'd be exactly like that. The person would be there, and the girl would see spirits, and I'd be able to help her. And it's funny because some of them would be like, I asked God to send me somebody to help me, and then you came along and you helped me. And that's what I started saying, wait a second, so who am I? What am I? What is all of this? I started asking questions. Okay, I see this whole spirit realm is real, all these ETs are real, but I ain't gonna do no more until you guys tell me who you are, what this is. And I told them, I said, I'm not gonna do no more until you guys pull up. I literally said, pull up. And that night, they came in the astral realm in a spaceship, and they brought me on the ship. And that was the most memorable moment of my life. From then, I was like, I'm committed to this. And the upgrades always gave me more and more, and I got access to more and more, able to travel further. And so I started gaining more friendships, remembering past lives and what Earth is. And I honestly now I'm trying to figure out how I want to even give all this information out. I know I want to do some sort of book and stuff like that, but at this moment, talking like this is the best way I do it. And I actually have a map of the galaxy I'm making, and I like to travel around and the beings show me around. And so I can't wait to be able to give all this information out to people, especially in a way that people take it very seriously, as they know it is very real.
Okay, that you gave me a lot right in that answer.
I know.
So I love that. I want to break it down, and then I'm gonna show the New Living Expo because you're gonna be there, right?
Of course.
Yeah, so we want to show a little bit about that. So first of all, you got a message that someone was in trouble at the mall. Did you actually know what they looked like when you went? Like, you knew who you were looking for?
Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. The one time I was creeped out, so I stepped away for a minute. Like, they were like, this one boy, he has a spirit following him, and he sees spirits and needs help. And so I went to this area, and he was there. And my mouth dropped. I was like, whoa, like, okay. And so I left, and then I came back, and I talked to him. I'm like, oh, I see the little girl spirit, and you see spirits. And he was like, whoa, like, nobody else sees this stuff. Like, I felt alone. That's when I started to realize, like, what part of my purpose was. It wasn't just to show people the reality of the spirit realm, but to help people in their connection with it. And some of y'all saw me on the cruise, and we did a little bit of, I call it divination, where we talk with the spirits and stuff like that. It was very fun. The beginning definitely was very explorative. I wanted to understand how it all worked. And now I feel like I have enough to be able to help the world in a way that I couldn't before.
So they told you what your mission is?
Yeah. And I still feel like I'm understanding more of who I actually am. And a lot of it's supposed to be a surprise that, like, we can't tell you it all. You're going to figure it out. But I definitely know the reason why they've given me what they've given me, and why they have me doing what I do. Yeah.
Do you want to share it with us?
Yeah, I know I'm supposed to be a bridge between the spirit and the physical. And I am supposed to be an ambassador for the ETs. And there's a lot more, like, especially the work I do in the astral realm. I see I'm meant to be a guide for people in the spirit realm. I still have a lot of people. I remember I would tell people, I'm going to astral travel and see you. And then it started in the town. I'm like, I'm just going to visit you. And then they would come to me the next day and they're like, whoa, like we went on this trip and we went through a portal. I can't believe it. I'm like, there you go. I like to bring people on these trips, and as well as to be a guide for a lot of people in the astral. And I still do that, where I work with people in the physical and in the astral realm. It's very fun.
Okay. I'm definitely engaged. All right, guys, stick around. I want to show you what's upcoming with Portal to Ascension. Here we go.
The world is changing faster than ever before. And within this evolution, a new consciousness is rising. At the New Living Expo, thousands gather to expand consciousness, explore new conscious technologies, ancient wisdom, and the future of human potential. Immerse yourself in 3 days of heart-expanding wisdom and mind-binding awareness, with over 90 speakers sharing tools to awaken your highest potential. 125 exhibitors, 3,000 attendees, awakened souls unite in one powerful weekend of learning, healing, and connection. Experience transformation, connection, and the next chapter of human evolution. It is time for humanity to awaken. Join us at newlivingexpo.com.
It is time for humanity to awaken, guys. And we have King Cash to help you awaken right this moment. So I'm really happy that we're having this discussion. I'm kind of curious. When you go off planet then, or when you're in your astral body, like, do you actually bilocate? Like, can you be here and there at the same time?
I can do that when I'm in, people call it remote viewing. Me and the ETs call it partial astral travel, because essentially you are partially astral traveling. You could be part in your body and part out of your body. So I actually like to do that most of the day. I do it in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, in the night. I love it, and I like communicating. Actually, the ETs are my best friends. So I speak with them basically 24/7. And then at the end of the day, when I'm going to sleep, then I'll say, okay, time for me to fully go in the astral realm and do what I got to do. So I like doing both, fully and partially.
So wait, so I know that you're in contact with the Galactic Federation, but you're saying that they're with you all day long.
Yes.
Are they with you kind of, do you see them, or do you see them in your inner eye? Do you see them with outside? Like,
I
what's
see them in
going
my
on?
inner eye or my mind's eye, but I could feel them super strong. And so when they come, sometimes I could see them physically appear, but most of the time I could feel them and see like a flash of them. And then I see them in my mind's eye. And from there, I'm able to be like a communicator, especially if it's for maybe a passed away family member or an ET that's trying to communicate with someone. Then I'm able to be that bridge for them and to feel how both people are feeling and to understand what both people are trying to communicate to each other. I definitely like being that bridge, because I know for humans it is hard at this time, and it's supposed to be natural for us to do this in history. So to me, I'm like, this is supposed to be what everybody does. But I know that this is what humans need now, and they need people like us to be this bridge. And I am very willing and very excited to do that for everyone.
So, like, when you think of yourself, do you think of yourself as a hybrid, a human, a galactic being, an angelic, like a combination of everything, like mud?
I had to actually talk to the ETs about how this works, because I'm like, okay, I'm an ET in a human body, but these human bodies also have ET DNA. How does this work? And they'd bring me to labs and show me about how the human body is actually created, and how there's other Earth experiments that are around the galaxy, not like Earth, similar to Earth, but not exactly like Earth, and how they take DNA from other beings, and then they mix human DNA, Arcturian DNA. And so humans are a mix of like 50 plus ETs. So we could say that we're all hybrids, but if you want to get into technicality of star seeds, I would call myself a hybrid, or what the government calls crypto-terrestrials. I like how they actually release documents about that in the CIA. They call them crypto-terrestrials. And this essentially, they say extraterrestrial, interdimensional beings that are in physical bodies, and some know they are and some don't, aka starseeds. So I would always say starseed, hybrid. I'm like, whatever y'all want to call it, but no matter what, it's the same thing of ET in a human body. So I would say I'm part human, and I like the experience of being a human. It is treacherous. It definitely
Dangerous,
is,
right?
but it is quite fun because it's human experience you can't get anywhere else. I mean, on other planets, other beings are always asking, like, I mean, they're watching like this, they're watching real close, but they'll ask you, they're like, what does a hot dog taste like? Or what was it like when you went through this and that? Like little things that you're like, this is just a regular day on Earth. But back home and being back home, I definitely miss home. I go there in the astral, but I mean, being there all the time, I miss it. But being here is one of the most adventurous things. It makes me want to take every challenge on. It makes me want to be my optimal on every level. I'm like, this human body is way more powerful than people know. And there's a lot that I have to wait for the ETs to disclose themselves. But this human body is one of the biggest gifts to be in, for sure.
And okay, so why do you say that about our human body? I'm just curious.
The human body is a mix of so many different ETs,
Yeah.
and it has so much power underlying within it that's not fully accessed. Government calls it junk DNA. I hate that they call it that, but it's just misunderstood DNA. It's basically ET DNA. And it's like, there's so much when you awaken at a certain consciousness. You hear a lot of spiritual people say when you awaken at a certain consciousness, then it activates certain DNA and stuff like that. I talk to ETs about every one of this because I'm like, I want to know what is true. And that is very much true. So you awaken in consciousness and you awaken at certain DNA, and then you awaken certain memories, and that triggers certain DNA. And it's like this body, the human genome in the galaxy, humans are very old, but this human genome on Earth is very young. So it has so much, it's like a baby, it has so much capabilities. It could do so much, it could go this way or that way. But humans in general are spread out throughout the galaxy. And this human body, especially the young human body, it's capable of so much things that humans are not even fully understanding of. And so I'm like, I'm looking at it and I see why people don't want to be here or want to be in this body. But if only they knew. I can't wait for that to be disclosed on what this all actually is. People are going to look at this body very, very differently.
You know, actually, as I'm hearing you, I'm kind of looking at my own body differently because it's a galactic perspective, and this body is just your spacesuit, or it's your ship.
Yeah.
And of course, it has all sorts of tools and technology and gadgets that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought of it like that.
Yes, I love being in a human body. Yeah, okay, it's not as capable as like my Lyran body or like some of the other bodies we're used to being in, but I like being in a young body and playing around on this planet, being of service, but also living a human life at the same time. No matter how old your soul is, you're always learning, especially coming to Earth. This is expert hard mode, and we're here. We're all learning something here.
Well, we are. So it reminds me of a show I used to like called Third Rock from the Sun. And they would, these three T's came down, they had an assignment and they took bodies. And so one of the guys is in a female body, you know, that gets her period and is moody. And so it was pretty funny to understand about the kind of body that you're even assigned. And that makes me think even more like we're probably assigned the way we look and how we act here in our role.
Yes. And just like you said, this body is an avatar. It's like it's a vehicle, and that's why in the amount of ways I've been, or the amount of time I've been astral traveling, and I know many of you astral travelers will feel the same way. It's like you definitely see it as a vehicle. Like even when you're hanging out with the ETs, you're like, okay, I got to go back to my physical body real soon. Like I got physical work to do, and so you start to treat it just like a vehicle, and you want to treat it nice. You want to make sure it is fit as much as it can be. You want to make sure your mind is as fit as it can be, because you're like, I want my vehicle, just as you want your car to be good, I want my vehicle to be good so I can handle anything. I want to be able to if something were to happen, I want to be able to handle any physical things that happen, or mentally. When things are hard, I want to learn from these challenges so then I could help the world move through them and help myself to navigate them in the future. Like this whole thing, you see, it's like a video game, and it truly is like that.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. So you mentioned several things I want to follow up on. First of all, you said it's not home. or that you like to go home? Where is home?
I have a lot of places in the galaxy in which are home to me. Now it's interesting because basically all the video games, all the movies you guys see depicting the truth. World of Warcraft is depicting the truth. Avatar depicting the truth. Valyrian City of 1,000 Planets, Star Wars, just take away the lightsabers, and it's basically a documentary. These are all real things that have been channeled purposely or by accident, and it was meant for humans to channel this and put it for the masses to see, and it triggers a lot of star seeds. They see it and they're like, I recognize that. So many places are home. Like I would say there's a few Lyran planets I love to go to. Even though some of them are destroyed, I like to just visit them anyways. Pandora is a place I really love, which is channeled through Avatar. I love Azeroth, and Venus is really cool. I have to look at my map back here because I have so many places, but there's infinite amount of places. And Earth, some of you may find this fascinating. Earth is actually extremely similar to the Lyran planets that were destroyed, very similar to my home planet that was destroyed millions of years ago. And I visited Earth during the Lyran Wars. Earth was a place that we could recuperate and then leave and go back to war. And we agreed to come back to fight for Earth in time. We made this pact with Gaia that we would come back to help her fight. And this planet is so similar to those Lyran planets that in returning it to 5D is essentially returning it back to Tara. Tara was the 5D Earth that was destroyed during the Lyran Wars. So it basically is the Lyran planet that was destroyed. And so returning Earth to its 5D energy is essentially returning home to me and to many others in a way that we've been waiting for millions and millions of years to do. This is essentially the end of the great galactic war that's been happening for so long. And so many ETs are waiting to return home. Many beings that were in hiding are waiting to return home, and the starseeds are going to feel so much at home here. This is fighting for home once again. They talk about the spirit war. This is the conflicts you see in the physical is just a result of what's been happening in the spirit realm. Now, the war's already won. You'll hear that a lot because the war technically is already won, but the pushing out of the old energy still has to happen. And that's why you guys are here. We need the strongest of souls to be here to do this right now.
I love that. I love that. Yes, and it is true because we came here very specifically to be here in these times. And many of us need people who can guide us and help us wake up to that reality.
Definitely. There's a huge need for people to awaken to the God. People say, quote unquote, the God within them or the divine within them. That is very important. And these star seeds are not just helping to root this higher energy, but they're helping to help others embody that energy, to spread that energy everywhere, help people tap into their soul again, which has been lost on purpose. It's been made on purpose for people to be tapped out of their soul. So you star seeds, whether it's just you being in a mall and just smiling, or whether it's you healing or helping to battle heavy energies, no matter what it is that you do, even if it's just a little art piece you do and you put it around, that is helping change the energy. We need that, or else humans are going to keep doing what they was doing for a long time. So you're way more important than you guys know.
No, that's a really important thing to remind people of, because even if you're confused about your mission or your purpose or what you're supposed to be doing, that one thing can change the energy all around you and
Definitely.
raise the light, whether you're conscious or not. And I think that we come here to first of all, remember. The biggest thing is to start to remember that we're more than this, what we think we are. And then to sort of take it seriously and start stepping into it, which it sounds like you have been doing. And I think young people, I think that, when I look at you and I realize that you're one of our young people, you're here to wake them up in particular. I'm sure that you've become a voice for younger people who are having these experiences. Or tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes. So First, I want to say you guys are gonna really be excited to be in these human bodies later. Like when you guys see how the ETs look at you guys and how they've been looking, it's like Divergent, like an Insurgent when they realized that everybody beyond the wall was really watching them in that giant experiment. It's literally, that's a documentary. It's just like that. You guys would be like, whoa, like everywhere you go, people could be like, yo, you're an Earth human? Like you have experience as an Earth human? They're gonna love you. I promise you guys are gonna feel like royalty. So I want you guys to step into that right now. Now, into what you were saying, I loved helping the kids. Oh, the kids are so open, so powerful. I worked in schools for a little bit, and I also work with teenagers, young adults. The younger folks definitely. I mean, I'm a younger folk, but the younger folks are like they're so ready. They're attuned and ready to go. They have older people. I've had some where I was astral traveling with them. I was teaching them with their abilities, and the parents didn't like that, and they were very hesitant with this. And so then the kid went back to just living a regular human life. But for me, what I got out of that was experience, and the kid got understanding of who they are. And they still, like, sometimes they see me and they're like, yo, I get bullied for talking about this, but I still talk to my spirit guides. I still astral travel. And sometimes they visit me in the astral and we hang out, and they're good. The one girl, she's a little girl. She was only like 12, and she remembered every astral travel. I was like, girl, you're good at this. They are so attuned and ready. That's the key thing I want to say, is they're ready, which means we're just waiting for a sort of disclosure, a sort of, this is real, by, I guess you want to say, people in power, even though we don't need it. That announcement right there is going to allow the kids to just be ready. As soon as we get the GFL schools on the ground, we have the GFL bases on the ground, these young folks, they're ready to go.
So you're talking about the Galactic Federation schools?
Yes, ma'am.
And the Galactic Federation bases that are here, that are going to be taking these young people and school them at nighttime in the astral, or actually physically?
In both. Physically, it's going to feel almost like for lack of a better example, it's going to be like Hogwarts. It's like going to teach people how to harness their magic. Like, this is real magic we do, and we're living real magic. And so we're going to teach people about clairvoyance, about telekinesis, about all these things that you see in movies about magic. It's all just depicting the truth. And on these other planets, I mean, especially elves are real tied, like it's in their blood to do magic, and humans have elf blood in them too. And so I'm telling you guys, Earth is the capital of the galaxy. It's meant to be the capital of the galaxy, and you guys are natives of Earth. I'm telling you, you guys are very popular.
So interesting. So actually, I'm seeing it like a circus at this moment, but from their eyes then, like, well, first of all, who's your favorite extraterrestrial type? Like, who do you have the most fun with?
Okay, the Na'vi for sure, which is from Pandora or channeled through Avatar. The Na'vi, I love them. I never knew I had such a deep connection with them. Humans and felines, I would say those are the three ones. I mean, the felines is my squad. Those are my crew. I love them so much. Yeah, those are some of my favorite. I want to remind you guys that Earth is a library planet. So what we're seeing Earth going through right now has literally been, like, you hear in the Bible, God saying that he's going to allow the demons and the devil to do his thing on the planet for a certain amount of time, and that's going to end at one point. We're at that end. So it was actually divinely planned for everything that's happening on Earth. It's like a reliving of galactic history. So we see slavery, we see the Holocaust, we see empires rising and falling, we see lies told about history that are coming out right now. So much. This Earth experiment was meant to be that, where at this phase of the Earth experiment, where it's like ETs can't fully intervene like they could during Egypt and Atlantis and all that, they were like, okay, we need to make this Earth experiment, and the other continents that are hidden off the planet, I've seen those, by the way, it's like closing off the Earth experiment and saying, this is the Earth experiment. We need humans to do this thing that they're doing and figure their stuff out. We need them to fight these wars. We're watching to make sure they don't blow up themselves. So you see them UFOs around nuclear sites, and the government's scared. They're like, these UFOs, we don't know what's going on, because the GFL won't let humans destroy this planet. But they will let humans figure their stuff out. And so humans are reliving galactic history. And so everything you see on Earth now that's happening and happened out in the galaxy. We talk like slavery and all that stuff. That's the biggest example of the Lyran wars. Draconians the malevolent Draconians, which Lyrans Draconians have a good relationship now and had relationships in the past. I mean, dragons, and you see the Dragon Riders. That was Lyrans and Draconians in a partnership. But the negative Draconians, they enslaved Lyrans. They did this genocide. They wiped history and said, we created all of this. This is ours. So it's the same thing that happening here. The way of everyone together, like America's a big area of the experiment. It's like we get all these people from everywhere and all of them in one spot. What will happen? What will they do? All the different histories. What's going to happen? So even the ETs are saying, we don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to allow them to do what they do. And that's the cool part. So people ask, why aren't they just jumping in? Why aren't they? I mean, they're already here. I mean, they're among the people, hybrid and fully. They're making sure everything is going as planned because the negative alien agendas also got their people on the ground. So it's a whole, as you can see, kind of political, but it's very much like the war's already won. We just got to make sure that humans are allowing the process that they're undergoing to happen. And then ETs are going to allow for their presence to be known. And so we see the disclosure already happening now. We see on the news them talking about extraterrestrials. They're talking about, they don't use extraterrestrial though. They say non-human biologics and interdimensional beings. It's all part of the plan for disclosure, but it is all divinely ordained so that the process happens as it needs to, and humans awaken without too much interference from external energies, just like in the past.
When you say just like in the past, when they awaken, what happened in the past when they awakened?
We had Atlantis, Lemuria, all these places, and they were part of the Earth experiment. But the ETs learned, okay, we can't intervene. They have this thing of law of non-interference. But then ETs were very much merged with humans, so it was okay. But then they're like, okay, we got to step back because we want humans to kind of develop on their own and do their thing. So they stepped out and allowed for this to happen just as it is right now. But there was so much other times on the Earth where humans and ETs were bonded. I like Skyrim, the video game. I mean, that's disclosing truth as well. There's actually a continent that's like that on Earth that's hidden, and it depicts what Earth looked like when ETs and humans were together. It's really cool to me. It's amazing to see how all this stuff is just like the truth is just put in the movies and shows and games. But this sort of interaction with ETs, the ETs were like, we want humans to develop their own Earth culture without us intervening. And that's actually pretty, I would say in my eyes, it is pretty successful. Yes, we're in the revolution phase where we're about to get disclosure, but that's just part of the plan. And this has happened on other planets where they've awakened. I mean, not necessarily like Earth, but they awakened in different ways. Then they merged with the rest of galactic society. So everybody's watching Earth because everybody's DNA here and everybody's seeing their DNA here, even if it's in animals. Like animals are what the ETs call smaller versions of themselves, if I translate it into English. So they're watching their ancestors live in this experiment. I think that is amazing and beautiful to have this.
So they're watching their ancestors, they're watching us, and they're encoding. It sounds like they're also encoding us. So we have the negative ETs, and you're saying that they are going to be removed from our planet. Mm-hmm. Is that bottom line?
Yeah, they're going to be removed, and they're basically already lost. So we're seeing karma whipping out real quick. We're seeing everything that's based off of the old Earth energy, which was about corruption and focus on the physical, holding people down, all that stuff. That energy is leaving because the malevolent energies and beings that were controlling on the ground, they didn't even go against galactic law. Galactic law is you can't just intervene. But the negative beings are like, okay, then we'll just be with the ones that are aligned with our energy. And that's where we see different cultures, for example, the Europeans and their colonialist mentality and the things that they did that were very horrible to all other cultures. I mean, other cultures did it too, but we see that mainly with that because at that time, those humans were in alignment with malevolent ETs. And then so they jumped in. But other cultures were aligned, like we see Native Americans, the ancient Africans. I mean, they were the cradle of civilization. They actually were in alignment with the positive ETs, but there was a plan to bring this energy and spread it, which is where we get the colonization and all that stuff. So there was a whole plan to have control, and that was successful, but now it's ending. So those beings no longer have direct influence anymore. They basically were eradicated. So now these people that are aligned with the negative beings still are looking up and they're like, yo, where y'all at? Aren't y'all going to defend us? But now they're going to jail. They losing their money, all of that, because they don't have their brothers and sisters in which they had a partnership with that were giving them this power. So that's ending. And now more power is from the Galactic Federation of Light, which is full of all the beings which are aligned with the divine light and are about union of all. And so that energy is coming more. So the beings that are aligned with that, they're coming more prominent, as you see. And that means that we are ready to almost be in union with the rest of galactic society.
Wow. Okay. That's exciting. Very, very exciting. So they are being removed. And as we step into more of our light being self and our galactic self, so we're part of that awakening process here on the planet.
Yes, because many of you have already done this so many times on other planets. Y'all are like, oh, been there, done that. Like, I've ascended before. I went to this planet. I've out here. I did that. And you may not remember because this is a planet where you have to forget and then re-remember, which is one of the reasons why it's very hard. In other planets, you could go and remember all, some, or a little. And so you could do your mission. And so here, all the souls, you hear people say the strongest souls are brought here. That's very much true, because not all souls could handle doing what they do here. But so many of you guys are like, oh, this is kind of boring. I've been there, done that. I've seen this. And it's just like, some of y'all are yawning. You're like, oh yeah, like I've done this ascension process before. I'm just ascending now and being of service. And that's what we see a lot. So you guys have done this before, and that's why you're brought here, because your soul has experience doing this before.
But we haven't necessarily done it on this planet, though. We've done it on the other planets, but we've come down here to do it. Yes, I do. And I do believe that's true. And many people do have memories of coming down and having pretty tough experiences when they get here. I mean, the truth is, you say the strongest of souls are sent down here, which is great for all of us to know. But they wipe your memory from the day you get here. And the whole process is kind of like a comedy of waking up. It actually probably looks like a comedy from above looking down, like, oh yeah, when is that one going to pop? Or she's going to pop now.
Yeah.
She's going to come out of that egg. Wait, you'll see.
I love, it's just like that. They love spectating, and they make sure things are going as planned and making sure that every soul is experiencing the major things that they're meant to experience. I will say that I see why they did the mind wipe thing. One, Earth is kind of naturally like that. But two, it's also because it would go against galactic law to have people come and remember everything, because then it's just basically an ET. It's ET intervention. So they're like, okay, we want you to come in, not just that, but also to live a human experience. You as a soul, you wanted to be a human. And if you remember everything, you can't really fully be a human. And then that's too much ET intervention. And so we want you to, I'm talking like I'm Galactic Federation now. We want you guys to wake up on your own and to have the human experience, so you could say, I'm a human. I lived it. I am it. And so you can start to be of service in the way of stepping into your ET understanding as a human. So you're literally definition of what a hybrid is. I think that's cool. Like, you guys wanted to do this. Like, imagine we go to this planet and we're of service, but we forget everything, and then we got to re-remember. That to our souls is fun. And so now that I'm at the stance that I'm at now, I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I get to be a part of this. Even though I'm still remembering more, I'm like, I'm so glad I get to be a part of this. And I'm glad that the ones that are awakening and realize their soul heritage, they're now basically their ET selves just now popping out and showing everyone who they are. You guys are so beautiful.
You're speaking as an extraterrestrial right now, you guys. So I have a feeling you go back and forth.
I do, because I had to catch myself sometimes. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, humans are so weird. And then people will be like, what'd you say? And I'm like, oh, we are so weird. I have to check myself and be like, oh, shoot, I just like revealed myself there.
You blew your cover.
I blew my cover. I actually like some of the kids know I'm part ET. Like I like when I talk to them and they're like, whoa, like, so where are you from? And I'll just be like, oh, you guys like to call us angels or Nephilim. So yeah, it's basically, I guess, what I am. I'm here to do this. I think that I like being undercover. I'll say that. I like being undercover. And that's what I wanted to say was, some people be like, whoa, you believe this, you believe these things. And I'm like, it's not about believing. I know. And if there's something that I don't fully know yet, I'll go to the ETs or tap into the galactic internet about it, or they won't tell me and I have to like figure it out myself or whatnot. That's part of the human experience too. But I'll never tell you guys something and say it is real if I don't know it to be real. I always will be very blunt with you guys.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. We have a lot to learn here. And it's almost like trial by error in certain ways. But I'm thinking these young people that you're working with are probably extraterrestrial or hybrid and not quite aware of it. So I think you're here to wake them up. I mean, I think we really have a large population now of young people who are hybrids.
Yeah.
I see them everywhere. But they don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm. And I find it interesting how in 2012 the CIA released a document saying that there was ETs among us, and that they were coming quote unquote incognito as newborns, and that many of them know and some of them don't. That was a very blunt document. I was like, oh my God, and why is this not out? Why is no one talking about this? And then I think it was last year or 2 years ago, Harvard released a document talking about ETs and how they're for real, and talked about ETs among us, calling them crypto-terrestrials. Very fascinating, and people aren't talking about it, but the ones that are meant to hear it, and the ones that know who they are, know who they are. There's so much awareness now in a way that's never been seen before. That's how you know we're so, and the conversations that regular humans are having about it, you can see we're on the cusp. We're just waiting for that moment for it all to be disclosed so we can move forward. I love to see how many starseeds are here, especially the young folks. Some of these young folks are going to be fully awakened or like fully in remembrance after disclosure. It's like they're not meant to be doing the hard stuff like many of us older folks. I'm young, but us older folks, what we are doing. But these young ones like 9, 10, they're just living their lives. And by the time disclosure comes, they're ready to live in the new earth. And so, some are here to fight for the new earth. Some have been here a long time, and even lifetimes they've been on Earth fighting on this planet. So this is the biggest awakening, the biggest moment in Earth history. It's actually one of the greatest moments that happen in the galaxy in thousands of years, to have a whole planet awakening, especially Earth, the library planet. Everybody's like, I'll place my DNA here. I'll play a role in the experiment. Okay, I'll send some souls here. Everybody's playing a role on Earth. So everybody's watching Earth right now.
I love the way you describe it. It's so extraterrestrial, the way you're describing it. Definitely you're not a human describing it. Extraterrestrial. So some of you starseeds, I hope you come and see King Cash in person, because that's how you're going to get your biggest awakening, is in that contact and being in the same room. That contact experience is going to really, I think, activate so many of your people, King.
I can't wait to see you guys. And
right?
I love when you guys book one-on-ones with me and we have conversation, or we go live or something like that, and we have conversations. Those are really fun. Speaking to you guys as fellow hybrids, like, I like being friends with humans. I mean, sometimes I like to have a little human fun and go out there and socialize with humans, but then I get bored and I'm like, okay, I want a hybrid to talk to, or some ETs to talk to. And so I enjoy speaking to you guys, no matter what level of awareness you're at. I'm like, you are home. You're my people in a human body. Of course, I'm You know what? I'm gonna tell you guys a story real quick. I went to the gym a few months ago, and I saw a Lyran woman, and she's just living her human life, like, all right. But I seen her, and I was like, Miss, I see you, like, fellow Lyran, I see you, my sis. And she was like, I don't know, you said Lyran, and something just triggered. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, my sis, you're a starseed. You know, you one of us. And I told her to go look into it. And I was like, I see you astral traveling. And she's like, oh, what is that? And I'm like, it's when you travel at night. And she's like, oh yeah, I have these dreams where I'm flying and I'm going to all these places. I'm like, sis, Lyrans love the astral travel too. You one of us, like you here. And I told her to go look into it. And now she's like in this awareness of, yes, I'm a starseed. I'm living my human life, but I am more than just this. To see the gleam in your guys' eyes when you are even just in a little bit of awareness, to me, that's the magic. That's my money. I love to see you guys in your power and to live it. That to me is the true money. And I can't wait for the world to see you guys and for you guys to offer what you came here to offer to the world.
That is very exciting. Extremely. So, you know, what do you think, though, about why some people, like the government's always saying, well, humanity's not ready for disclosure. That really pisses me off, by the way. Mm-hmm. I'm sick of that. But why do you think that is? Or is that just an excuse? Or are some people not ready?
Y'all, it's a damn excuse, okay? They can do it whenever they like, but they're trying to figure out how they could disclose this stuff while remaining in power. That's the whole thing. If there was other people in power that wanted to reveal it and they were told not to, and they were really told not to. Even Donald Trump was gonna tell everybody, and it was like 2019. This is when Haim Eshed came out and said the GFL was real, and Paul Hellyer came out and said that the GFL is real. This is the ex-defense minister of Canada and the ex-Israeli space chief. They both said the Galactic Federation is real, and Donald Trump knows about it, but he was told by the GFL not to. I even questioned, like, how come the GFL? Why would the GFL say not to? And I see why. I see clearly now, because imagine they just came and landed, and then everything was it. The things that are meant to, think about all the things that happened in the last 5-6 years. All of that would not have happened. And so the human evolution into this wisdom. So I see that the human psyche partially would not be ready yet, if that makes sense. Like the experiment and what's meant to lay out in the experiment would not be complete yet. So we're at that space now where it's about to be disclosed. Like it's literally going to happen any day now. But there's still some things that are happening behind the scenes. Like, I mean, the ETs have given humans a deadline. So it's like, you got to tell them by this time or we will do it. So they're under a time crunch, which is why you see them trying to disclose stuff on the news in a certain way to see how everybody responds. They put this out, they send this agent out to talk about ETs and stuff like that. So they're scheming to release, but they're releasing it in a controlled way. So you see they're like, oh, we can only release what we're allowed to. One, they're scared because they know they could be in danger. And two, because it's like going behind the scenes, it's like, okay, if we release it like this, if we release that, then we can set up this and that. You hear people sometimes say the fake alien invasion and all that stuff. Man, I did talk to the ETs about that. And I realized that that's a possibility, that they could do that, but it's not necessarily going to work if they do try it. And they know it's not going to work because you're trying to play on ETs here. You're trying to play on the ETs and pull a fast one on them. You must be crazy. That's like an ant trying to play with a human. Come on now. So these humans here are very primitive and they don't understand. They don't understand a lot. They got a lot to figure out. Okay. But the advanced humans like you guys, you can see the power shift. There's a shift in power happening, and we're seeing that shift immediately at this moment. So all this stuff is being introduced into the Earth experiment because it's like, I mean, all the aspects of ETs and stuff has already been within the Earth experiment with the movie shows, with ET interactions and what humans call psychics, right? You see all of that. So people know there's more, but it's already been introduced, but the aspect of the reality of it's been hidden in order to keep power. But what's even more fascinating, I'll kind of end with this, is that the experiment, it was allowed for that to happen because it's allowing galactic history to lay out on the planet like how it's supposed to, which is interesting. You can see the divine plan. It was organized for all this to happen, and what's not meant to happen is going to be ended and getting rid of, which is happening right now. Now it's like Gaia's like, all right, I'm turning up my frequency. So you're basically, y'all are being forced to awaken, and energy is being forced to go up. But the people in power are trying to figure out, how can we tell people this? Because the ETs gave us some time. How can we do this but still remain in power? And what are we going to do after? So you see them making their bunkers, doing all of this stuff. You guys know the drill. You guys hear it all. It's all true. They're doing all of this, and they run, and they're like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this? It's funny. We all the ETs are watching, like, look at them go. Look at them trying to figure out how they're going to do it. Look at all the other starseeds getting ready. They're almost ready. So it's all part of the plan, and that's really cool.
Well, we are ready. People like us are so ready.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of humanity will just have to go along with it. But, I think the government doesn't want us to know, because then we become more conscious and we realize that there's more to us. And, I am sure if we have an extraterrestrial present in the physical body, people are going to be contacted more and more internally, and it will cause this huge awakening.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think, they're afraid of.
Yes, they want to figure out a way to keep their power. And if all this stuff is released, they lose their power. Even if they just say, yes, we're not alone. Oh my God, we're not alone. Okay, so there's other beings out there. Oh, they're more advanced. Okay, so how do they talk to each other? Oh, it's telepathy. Oh, so the consciousness is real. It just causes a ripple effect that they really don't like.
Right.
And it's going to awaken everybody, and then they lose control, and then everything they've done for actually technically thousands of years is going to be done and exposed. Then it's over. So it's like a baby. It's like a baby having their like toy taken away, and they're fighting to keep it. Like, no, but the parents like, I'm gonna get that toy, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just like that.
We're going to reveal ourselves to them. You can fuss as much as you want, but you're not going to withhold us from your people. Fair. You have such a great perspective. So do you actually think they're going to land on the White House lawn? Like they're going to come out of their ship and shake my hand?
Now, the amount of ways it could happen is still an infinite amount of ways. Even I asked them, I'm like, okay, what is going to happen? But it's like, they're like, yo, we don't even know. In my translation, they're like, yo, we don't even know, because humans are so unpredictable. This is an experiment. We also want to see what is going to happen. They're prepared for all the scenarios. Okay, if this happens, okay, we're going to show up at Stonehenge, and then we're going to have the starseeds come or whatever. There's so many different things. But what I do know for certain will happen is that there's going to be a time when starseeds are the mediators for physical ETs, or it's for them to appear physically. And then it's going to be on the news where it's like, hey, all right, we know we're not alone. Now we're meeting up with some of them, and some of the ET hybrids that we all made fun of, the starseed we made fun of, they're actually about to help us. And I see us on the news. They've showed me like us sitting on the news talking about it and literally being ambassadors for them. And everybody's like, yo, like, we're scared. We're intrigued, but we're scared. Like, that's why the starseeds are here. They're meant to be the mediators. Imagine we didn't have that. One, humans wouldn't be able to ascend as easily and do what we're doing. But two, it's like we need the in-between people. It reminds me of a movie where it reminds me of Warcraft, where we have the humans and the orcs, and they're fighting each other. But then we have the one hybrid who's a human and an orc, who's able to mediate, and then they start to come together. It's just, that's what the starseeds are. That's what you guys are. You guys are those mediators. So humans can look at you, and ETs can look at you, and everybody's able to feel a sense of peace in this communication.
Which is why many of us are training as ambassadors, because we know that we're the bridge. And I know that I'm a bridge between heaven and earth, and I remember it from other lifetimes. And also, there was that time with the Dead Sea Scrolls that they actually talked about the celestials were walking upon the planet among the humans. And I'm assuming some of the extraterrestrials would have been walking among the planet as well in a certain way. So we must have been far more advanced to be able to see them.
Oh, yes, ma'am. We were incredibly advanced then. I actually remember lifetimes in Atlantis. Atlantis and Lemuria were destroyed because of, it was like a mix of negative ET influence, but also the negative thought processes that we see humans have now were during then as well. So there's a little bit of corruption and stuff going on there that led to destruction, and messing around with technology that was not positive. Yeah, there was a fall of that. We fell from a lighter energy, and it started getting lower and lower, which technically also was, again, divinely led. Like, was supposed to happen like this. And so I noticed before there was some people talk about massive trees. Like,
yes, the giant trees. Mm-hmm.
Yes, those were, I had to figure out, I'm like, is this real? I went and I'm like, I was surprised. Those definitely are real. And then there was like these humans that were like titans, we call them. There was all these cities in which were mixed with, we would call them Olympians, like very skilled extraterrestrials that look human, look like godlike, and we call them gods. And so many humans call them gods in history. What we see in history now is like this compared to the great history which has been hidden. And so everything that you see now, there's so much to hide that, so that they can rule as long as they can. And they're like, we know we're on a time crunch, but we rule as long as we can, and we'll fight to the very end. And that's what they're still doing now. But it's hilarious. It's hilarious to me, because I'm like, your time is up. Like, you'll know they won't just go like this and be like, all right, we're done.
Peace out.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do that. They're gonna fight to the very end. And so I understand, and I'm just like, all right, well, even if it takes 5-10 years, which it won't, it's gonna happen. So you guys should just like tap out now.
So you think it's just 5 to 10 years away?
In 5 to 10 years, we're gonna be way more advanced, but disclosure is gonna happen sooner than that. I don't know when. People ask me when. I know 2027 is a big year for extraterrestrial energy. So I don't know. And I actually had a lot of beings in the astral talk to me. They'd bring me a mothership and talk to me about 2027, but I would never remember what they would say. I would just know that it's very powerful and important. And I would write in my journal and be like, they keep talking to me about 2027. It's important time for ETs and starseeds. It's some sort of great awakening. And then when I looked it up online, I also realized that there was others talking about 2027, and that 27 is the end of some sort of earth cycle that happens reoccurringly. So that kind of blew my mind too. But no matter what the ETs tell me, I'm like, okay, I know what you're telling me is for of course it's for real, but I want to see now how it is in the physical realm. How many people in the physical earth realm know about this? What information is already on the planet about what you guys are telling me? So to look that stuff up and see how there was already discussion about it, I was like, okay, so humans are pretty aware. It's already in a lot of the human psyche about this time. I don't know what 27 is about. I just know it's a big time. And that time crunch is coming. So it's not going to take 20 years, but 10 years from now, we're going to be look at it like futuristic, and we're already in 10 years doing this ET integration, where it's like, it feels like it's like integration in the 1960s, but with ETs now. It's like, okay, now we got to introduce the extraterrestrials that call Earth home as well, introduce them into humans. So you're going to see ETs walking around 20 years from now. ETs is definitely going to be walking around. You'll know for sure.
I love it. Yeah, well, you won't be able to miss it, huh?
Yeah, it's going to be undeniable then. But by then, humans will be so much more. It's going to be like a Tuesday talking about ETs. It's like, yeah, they're out there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're here. My homie's an Arcturian. He lives right beside me. It's going to be like that. Real soon, so many beings are going to be able to go like this and whip off their mask right after disclosure. They waiting, and they know it's a time crunch. They're just sitting down waiting for humans to do their thing before it's like, okay, are they going to disclose it? No. Okay, let's just jump in and let's finish it up.
Got it. So if the people in charge here don't do it, the Galactic Federation is going to do it anyway. And they know it. And they know it. So do we have many extraterrestrials in our government?
Yes, ma'am, we do. We have positive ones and negative ones. So there's a lot of negative ones, but there's also positive ones which have been trying to work with the government. Like, I'll never forget when they talked to me about the Eisenhower administration, when the positive ETs went to Eisenhower and they were like, yo, you guys need to give up your nukes. Y'all gotta give up all this if you want us to work with you, and we're going to bring a higher consciousness. The government basically laughed in their faces. They thought it was a joke. They're like, nah, well, we ain't going to do that. But then they left, and they warned them about the negative ETs, which includes the negative draconians, the negative grays. And they came and said, we'll give y'all this technology if you let us take some humans, if you let us do these things on the ground, and we'll work with you guys to help you understand. We'll make you a superpower. Of course they took that. This is humans you're talking to. Of course they took that. And so the GFL is like, we can't do nothing. Y'all are working with them. Y'all decided to be aligned with them. We can't stop you. It's your free will. But you guys have enslaved the masses for too long, and the divine is saying time is up now. So they're aligned with the divine. They're like, divine is saying, all right, enough is enough. We're about to wrap this up. But as you see, it's wrapping up divinely on its own, which is still part of the divine plan. It's like, okay, the ETs are like, oh, by the time it's disclosed, by the time the clock hits the buzzer, by then humans are already ready. It's like divinely set up. So the negative ETs are trying to fight the divine. You can't fight the divine. So it's already happening. It's going to happen no matter what's already happening. They're doing what they can to hold the lid on the jar, even though it's bursting open. So there's so many most of the positive ETs work with people that aren't government, because the people that are going to be in power on the planet are not in the government right now. So the new Earth president, the new like people that are gonna, like, we're gonna have new borders and all that stuff. All the people that are running the new countries and stuff like that, they're gonna be starseeds. This is where we're headed. So everybody that's in power now isn't necessarily gonna be in power later. We're seeing a shift in power right at this moment.
Are you seeing a separation of timelines or Earths? Like those of us who are going up, or those of us who are staying?
Oh yeah, that's actually a good topic. There's going to be a lot of people that still hold the old Earth energy, and I've explored this to see what it looks like. I actually asked that question. I'm like, how does that work? Some are going to be put at a certain area of the planet as like a school. It's like a certain area of the planet sectored for people that are fighting. They're like, they do not want to merge. Some of them are so religious. They're like, you could show them an angel and they'll be convinced it's a demon. Like, they're like that. And it's like, okay, these humans are so indoctrined by the powers that were enslaving the masses. They're still stuck in the slave mentality that we got to put them over here and as a rehabilitation. Some are going to be brought off planet to another planet. The starseeds especially are going to be brought off the planet for a while, and they're going to get to do their thing and then come back. Some are going to say, I don't want to be in this human body anymore. I want to be in my other body that's in homeostasis right now. They're going to get to do that. Some are going to be like, this is home forever, and I'm going to stay in this human body because I've been fighting for a long time in lifetimes. They're going to want to stay here. Some of them are, what's happening now and after disclosure, people are like waiting for disclosure, but disclosure is just the beginning phase for many of y'all's mission. It's like you're waiting for disclosure, and then you could do the rest of your mission, which is helping Earth in the next phase, especially becoming spacefaring. Ooh, this is going to be super beautiful the way these things are executed. But yes, that separation is already happening, so you could already see it. Some of you sensitives could see the difference already. But there is going to be some sort of separation, especially physically, because especially these people in old Earth are not going to want to merge with people that are in new Earth, even though they see it's the new way. It's like we see progressive and regressive. We see the whole Democrat, Republican, progressive, regressive, all of that stuff. Let's clean that up and put that in a way of like progressive and regressive. Some are going to want to progress, some are not going to want to.
Got it. And some of us are definitely not going to want to come back. I can tell you that right now. But, some of us have been here way too long, I think, and are ready to go on. And you talked about, what was the word you used? That other body of ours that's up there in a ship. It's homeostasis. So is that true for many of us that we have that other avatar body up in a ship somewhere?
Yeah.
And that we can access this. So you've seen yourself on that ship? You've been on that ship?
Mm-hmm. I've seen these homeostasis bodies before. Now, it's not scary like how they show it in the movies. It's actually very peaceful. It's like, okay, this body I'm putting in homeostasis so I could be born in the human body and I could come back to it. Actually, I'm used to being in a woman body. This is the first time I've been in a male body in a very long time. And so I'm actually even excited to be back in that there's something about a woman's body that's super powerful. And I like that. I mean, being in a male's body is really powerful too. But I actually almost miss being in that body. So I'm looking forward to being in that body again in time. But I really adore this human body. So I'm always going to love it. But yeah, I'm excited to go back to that. As many of you will be excited to do that again.
Well, that's really cute. Okay, wait a second. So you were in many of your lifetimes, you've been a female, and this time you're a man, and it's like having a different kind of body because you're aware of it.
Yes, I actually like being in both types of bodies. And in this one, I had to be a man, and then I could be, I'm okay. I'm very fluid with masculine and feminine energy, and I like being in balance with both. So I love to be in a male's body for certain missions, and I like to be in a woman body in certain missions. Actually, many of my lifetimes, I was a female warrior. I like being a warrior as a woman because they badass, man. Women know how to run stuff. And actually the Draconians, now that the Draconian Empire is more positive, even when they were negative, they were always run by a female Draconian. It was always a woman Draconian that ran everything. And so humans have been indoctrinated on purpose to be like, women are small and they're meant for this, and people of color, this and that. It's all, you could just reverse everything. Everything you see that the humans have said, just reverse it. Everything that you've seen that they're like, oh, there's something wrong there, you could reverse it. Religion and all that's been used to separate your mind from the truth. Go ahead and go in there and clean up. The truth is in all the religions, and it's been spread out on purpose just like that too.
Yeah, it is. It is in all religions. And I've seen my other self awake and actually navigating ships as sometimes. And that's very exciting when I feel like I'm both. And like you commented that like the Galactic Federation and your guides are right with you all the time. So I saw you going in and out of talking, hearing, and translating what they were saying. And I thought that was pretty interesting. You have so many interesting things to say about this, King. You're like so tuned in. What's your next, what do you see your mission being going forward?
To be the mediator between humans and ETs. I see how everything in my life was preparation, especially the last 5 years after COVID was big preparation. Like I was going to go to university, but then COVID hit, and then I end up just studying metaphysics and studying all of this stuff. And then I end up, and with all my abilities kicking in, I was like, okay, this is real. I just want to understand what this is, how this works. And so I end up just studying this for a living. And then after university's like, hey, you could come back. And I was like, y'all know I ain't coming there. I ain't doing that no more. And I decided to do this instead. And so I have so many plans. Like I want to make schools. I want to make GFL bases on the ground. I want to have these GFL tours where we do tours around the planet with ETs and introduce the ETs to different cultures. I've been talking to the beings about this for a while. Like we have plans to do all of this. And so literally I'm just like, I'm in the mode right now. I'm prepping other starseeds, especially when the beings are sending me all these people, especially recently they send me a lot of people. And so they're all getting ready. So I see why disclosure hasn't happened just yet divinely, because I'm like, whoa, these starseeds that are really important are just stepping in their power. They train in. They're like, it's like they train in knowing, okay, I'm about to use this, and then they're about to be fully out in the open. So we have so many plans. I'm just like, I'm doing my part. Everybody's doing their part, getting everybody ready.
I love it. I'd like to go on a tour of the galaxy, actually. I'm going to sign up for that one. And I'll sign up to help lead some of the Earth tours. But this is actually really exciting. So do you have any idea what you're going to be presenting at the New Living Expo?
Yes, we will be doing communication with other beings as usual. I love just having the open floor, and we talk to everybody's guides and different beings, and even ancestors are passed away. People come through. I mean, when we all get together, the spirits are lined up. They know we're about to talk, and they get lined up. And so I usually call on just random people in the audience. And we like to film it so we could post it after. We do a whole session, open session like that. And I know there's going to be some people that have the mics and we'll be able to just talk about extraterrestrials. So we're going to have a mix of talking with the spirits, talking about ETs and what Earth really is. I live and breathe all this stuff in my soul. So I can talk about this stuff all day, every day. Being at the Exo with y'all to be able to do this is, I already know, is going to be one of the highlights of the year.
I think you're right. I know you're going to be right. I could already tell just here, and all of you starseeds out there really need to come and get that hands-on activation with King Cash and all of us, but being in the presence, because the whole tribe represents not just the youth, but all the energies that have been coming through for all of these centuries. But I think it's a great opportunity for all of you to get to know King, the rest of us, but really get activated. This is so important. And when I hear you talking about it, it really makes me realize how important this is.
Mm-hmm. It really is. I like how fun we have with it, because it's meant to be fun, but we also take ourselves very seriously in what we're doing here, what this is. And so we root in that 5D energy, but we never forget, like, whoa, this mission is very important. So I need to make sure that I'm taking myself seriously. I need to make sure that I may not be fully aware of who I am and what we're doing. Y'all may not be fully aware of who you are and your power, but you're like, this is real. I'm dedicated to tapping into this. I know that there's an importance to my soul being here, or else I wouldn't be here. Just that core understanding should be enough for you guys to take yourselves seriously and actually go on a discovering path of, like, who am I? What am I? What is this? Why did y'all send me here on the ground? And that makes you go into yourself and into your soul and get connected with your soul. And then you're able to find your way. And that's fun as a human. It feels like, one of my guides says, it's like Game of Thrones, the exploration mode. It's like where they just go out on the path and they find it out as they go. But then when they go back home, they got it. And that's what it's like. Y'all are on the path. Y'all are finding your way and having fun with the adventure. Go ahead and have that adventure, and then make mistakes. Go do what you need to do, because at the end of the day, you're going to figure it out. All the mistakes, the trials, the love, the pain, all of that is a human experience, which it's like a video game. It's like watching the ETs are watching this like a movie, and you're living the movie. This is an amazing aspect I want you guys to remember and know how powerful you are.
I love it. I have never considered that they're up there watching us and that we are their movie. And you've given me as the host so many insights, King. I really appreciate this so much.
Right.
And so, guys, I just want you to know how much we thank you for being here, your presence, your clarity, I think, and your devotion to humanity's evolution. Your devotion to this awakening and disclosure is just palpable and really appreciated. So, guys, if you feel called by King Cash, make sure you reach out to him. I'm going to put his link up again for you right here, but definitely reach out to him, because he's the one who can help you navigate becoming an ambassador and living your dream, basically. Because when you step into this world, you really step into it's like a magical world. You step into Harry Potter's world, because it's all true, which is so exciting. So yes, and thank you to all of you out there for listening. On behalf of Portal to Ascension and myself, thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate that. And remember, okay, you can not only join us at the New Living Expo, check out all the events on portaltoascension.org. And if today's conversation stirred something in you and excited you, got you feeling about who you are, just remember that we're available. You can reach out to King Cash for sure. I'm Dr. Joan Hangarter. And remember, expect miracles, because you were born for this. And this is your time. Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to see you. Neil, hello, welcome.
Hey, Joan, good to be here with you. And just wanted to jump on. And, Joan has been interviewing people on our platform for this last month. And today, she's going to be bringing on King Cash. But I just kind of wanted to jump on and just say hi. And thank you, Joan, for doing this and letting everybody know. Joan of Angels and I myself have teamed up on a deep level. She's been telling you about the New Living Expo, telling you about the Mystery School SC, but I'm so happy to announce that I have a full-time host, really. And not only that, Joan is helping me produce the New Living Expo. She's interviewing all these people that are coming up at this event, and she's also a really good friend. So today she's going to be interviewing King Cash, who is incredible. You're going to enjoy so much. But I just wanted to come on and just extend my gratitude and just show my face on this channel as well.
Neil, I love seeing your face. I love that introduction. And let's just get started. We have a great guest coming on today.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Go ahead and introduce King Cash. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So today's guest walks between worlds. King Cash is not just a messenger. He is a bridge to the councils, the star nations, ancient lineages that have guided Earth through countless cycles of evolution, carrying codes from the Pleiades, the Arcturians, the Sirians, Lyrans, and the higher angelic orders. You're going to want to hear his story. Now, I'm Dr. Joan Hangarter, also known as Joan of Angels. I guide awakening souls to remember who they are and activate the blueprint they came here to embody. And when that switch is on, everything in your world changes. I've walked this galactic path for over 45 years now, and I've been working with Portal to Ascension, by the way, on and off ever since 2011. We've had big dreams, cosmic visions, and mystery school excitement. So my many years as a doctor, a teacher, a healer, and a channel, I know one truth. When you remember who you are, your entire life begins to shift. Now, if you feel that awakening stirring in you, you can book a free soul vision consultation at joanofangels.com. Now, I want to introduce you to the most amazing King Cash. Now, King Cash, Neil, we have to stop. Somehow I cut it out.
No, I'll edit that part out. You can continue, and I'll just edit that part out. Okay.
Okay. I can't believe I just edited. I moved it, and I don't have it. I don't mean for you to have to do all this editing. Okay. All right, everyone. I am truly excited about today's guest. He is quite powerful. King Cash is a powerful, multidimensional bridge. He's a clairvoyant, clairsentient, galactic communicator whose abilities began awakening through near-death level spiritual seizures at the age of 13. He works directly with the angels, spirit guides, ancestors, extraterrestrials, and his own Lyran star family, upgrading his consciousness in real time and mapping the astral realms like most of us navigate a familiar city. His following is massive. His impact on young starseeds is undeniable, and his role with the Galactic Federation of Light has made him a voice for this generation's awakening. Cash, welcome to the show. Welcome, everyone. I'm so happy to see you. Neil, hello, welcome.
Hey, Joan, good to be here with you. And just wanted to jump on. And, Joan has been interviewing people on our platform for this last month. And today, she's going to be bringing on King Cash, but I just kind of wanted to jump on and just say hi. And thank you, Joan, for doing this and letting everybody know. Joan of Angels and I myself have teamed up on a deep level. She's been telling you about the New Living Expo, telling you about the Mystery School SC, but I'm so happy to announce that I have a full-time host, really. And not only that, Joan is helping me produce the New Living Expo. She's interviewing all these people that are coming up at this event, and she's also a really good friend. So today she's going to be interviewing King Cash, who is incredible. You're going to enjoy so much. But I just wanted to come on and just extend my gratitude and just show my face on this channel as well.
Neil, I love seeing your face. I love that introduction. And let's just get started. We have a great guest coming on today.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Go ahead and introduce King Cash. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So today's guest walks between worlds. King Cash is not just a messenger. He is a bridge to the councils, the star nations, ancient lineages that have guided Earth through countless cycles of evolution, carrying codes from the Pleiades, the Arcturians, the Sirians, Lyrans, and the higher angelic orders. You're going to want to hear his story. Now, I'm Dr. Joan Hangarter, also known as Joan of Angels. I guide awakening souls to remember who they are and activate the blueprint they came here to embody. And when that switch is on, everything in your world changes. I've walked this galactic path for over 45 years now, and I've been working with Portal to Ascension, by the way, on and off ever since 2011. We've had big dreams, cosmic visions, and mystery school excitement. So my many years as a doctor, a teacher, a healer, and a channel, I know one truth. When you remember who you are, your entire life begins to shift. Now, if you feel that awakening stirring in you, you can book a free soul vision consultation at joanofangels.com. Now, I want to introduce you to the most amazing King Cash. Now, King Cash, Neil, we have to stop. Somehow I cut it out.
No, I'll edit that part out. You can continue, and I'll just edit that part out. Okay.
Okay. I can't believe I just edited. I moved it, and I don't have it. I don't mean for you to have to do all this editing. Okay. All right, everyone. I am truly excited about today's guest. He is quite powerful. King Cash is a powerful, multidimensional bridge. He's a clairvoyant, clairsentient, galactic communicator whose abilities began awakening through near-death level spiritual seizures at the age of 13. He works directly with the angels, spirit guides, ancestors, extraterrestrials, and his own Lyran star family, upgrading his consciousness in real time and mapping the astral realms like most of us navigate a familiar city. His following is massive. His impact on young starseeds is undeniable, and his role with the Galactic Federation of Light has made him a voice for this generation's awakening. Cash, welcome to the show.